Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to yet another episode of Rendezvous with Anza Saqib on CxO Global TV. CxO Global Forum is a knowledge sharing platform for all C levels across Pakistan and the globe. We try and contribute heavily to the knowledge economy. Every episode, we've got a special guest with us, one of our members, and they're people who have essentially made a significant contribution in the corporate sector. Um, they're all C levels. Today as well, we've got someone very special, someone with a lot of experience, and someone who's seen the transition of a certain industry in Pakistan. So we've got Mr. Haroon Kanth with us. He's the country head of Global Consulting Center in Pakistan, an offshore captive consulting organization of Teradata Corporation. I'll let him tell some more about himself. Mr. Kanth,
Assalamualaikum
how?
ji. Assalamualaikum ji. Good to
Walaikum
be
salam.
here.
Right, lovely. So thank you so much for joining us. First of all, Teradata Corporation is a big, big name, and everyone would like to know how did your journey begin? Like where you went to school, where did you grow up, what courses you studied? How does one end up where Haroon Khan ended up?
It's a very interesting question because I don't know how I ended up here, but what I can talk about is my journey. Well, I am basically I was born in India, so
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
I'm a Kashmiri by birth. I was born in Srinagar back in 1978, and
Wow.
then traveling around the world because my father's a doctor, so we've been around uh, in the world, doing different type of jobs. So I've studied normally in schools, Indian schools, Pakistani schools, and ended up in Pakistan back in 1992 and became a Pakistani national by choice
Oh,
in
wow.
1996.
Uh-huh.
So that's one thing that I hold very close to my heart is that I'm a Pakistani by choice.
Yeah.
So so I've been my initial education was primarily in sciences, and especially being coming from a doctor's family. I did my pre-medical in FSC, and unfortunately or fortunately, I couldn't go into becoming a doctor, and ended up doing finance and accounting. So that's
Lovely.
where I started off. But as destiny had it, I didn't like it. I was doing my chartered accountancy, and I switched at the end of my learning career there and moved into business finance and did my MBA and joined a company which was a business IT, integration organization back in 2002. And then it was not looking back, and things started opening up. It was all about the interest. So I had more interest in how technology can aid business and how technology can become a strong enabler in transforming organizations into being more efficient, being more open, transparent, and at the same time being able to make the right decisions. So I started off my journey from there, and here I am in Teradata, 20 years down the road.
Brilliant. Mashallah, what an inspiring journey. And I really like the part about where you said, you are someone that is by choice a Pakistani. And a lot of us, like who've been born and brought up here, we don't realize the blessing that it is when you're born, a citizen of
Ask
Pakistan.
me,
So, yeah,
ask
mashallah.
me what an
But
identity this country has given me and the kind of opportunities that this country
mashallah,
has
which
given
is
me.
why I think I can sense that you have this innate sense of giving back.
Yes.
I believe that a lot of times, because when we interview, people at mashallah, the corporate level that you are at, they often talk about self-actualization, and one of the things that comes as part and parcel is, the feeling of giving back. So, how is it that you contribute back to society?
Okay, there are different ways of doing it, and one does it at a personal level, and then there are people who are at a level in an organization which have a level of authority that can kind of guide the organization giving
Mm.
back to the society as well. So I, at the personal level, are doing a lot of stuff, being part of different forums, visiting faculty of universities, I am part of the industry and university liaison organizations within the university itself. So I'm there. I'm kind of guiding students on how to select careers, how to make choices, and at the corporate level, we have a complete dedicated function which is called Teradata Cares. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about giving
CSR?
back. It's a CSR initiative.
Okay.
Here we focus on three major things. One is education, health, and the third one is helping people who are medically impaired and don't have the means to fulfill their medical requirements. We help them in enabling them by not just giving them money, but actually giving them the means to earn the money. So we are in health, education. In education, we have actually set up a school in
Lovely.
place near Lahore, where
Mm-hmm.
we are imparting moral education, which we think is strongly missing in our education system. So we have been able to kind of build up a curriculum for moral education, and that curriculum
MashaAllah.
has been so
Okay.
successful and popular that some of the private schools from within Punjab have asked us to provide them with that curriculum and enable their teachers to kind of uh, be able to deliver those courses within their institutions. So that's the limited bandwidth that we have, all on voluntary basis, and we are trying to build a better Pakistan for our generations to come.
Indeed. And, with people like you, we're definitely more confident. And what a brilliant thought of giving back to society and working on the moral, curriculum. Another important thing that comes to mind, especially now, is that someone like you, sir, have seen the evolution of the IT sector within Pakistan. I mean, I'm sure you, since you were here in the 90s, you remember the time where we usually had those blocks for phones and satellite connections and everything. And now there are talks of fiber. And yesterday I was reading that Elon Musk is going to be setting up his satellite internet connections with 1 GB download speed. So, sir, how have you seen the evolution of the IT sector in Pakistan, and where do you see it in the next 10 years?
Giji, the evolution of technology has been very fast paced globally, and it has been also in Pakistan. The unfortunate thing that's happened in Pakistan is that the corporate sector, our industries, and the government has not been at the same pace of adoption of technology as the rest of the world. So what has happened is at the individual level, people are using the highest level of tech that is available out there in the market. But at the institutional level, this is missing. However, 2020, the year of the COVID, that will be remembered, for the
Yeah,
next time.
absolutely.
So the year of the COVID has been one of the most aggressively challenged year in which nature has forced us to adopt to all those emerging technologies that's out there. We would never have thought maybe a year back, say in February last year, to be having an interview and talking up like this. We would rather have fixed up a meeting place or a studio
Yeah,
or
put up a proper DSLR and so on and so forth.
exactly.
Very true. Yeah.
But now with the quality of the software that is out there, the quality of the video that's out there, the connectivity, all is now being done at our own places. Now, this is the smallest basic level of improvement that has come in. At the same time, there's a lot of now automation that we are looking into. I remember back in my days, as you said, those big phones. We used to carry those big
Yeah.
phones,
I've only
and
seen them in pictures. I mean, I've seen those big block phones with like huge antennas. Yeah.
yes, yes. I saw that at a wedding. The first time I saw it at a wedding when
Okay.
a relative of mine was carrying a small box, and I was really curious. What is that? And they were like, this is a phone, a mobile phone that you would be using. And now, we have small transmitters that go into our ears.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I use a Bluetooth device which is absolutely not visible on my face. It
Yeah.
is
The earbuds.
not even the earbud. It is right behind my ear.
Oh, lovely.
And you would be very surprised to know that that was made by a Pakistani. So it wasn't
Wonderful,
something
wonderful.
made from the West or the Chinese. It was made by a Pakistani. The challenge,
Brilliant.
as I said, is institutionally, the government and the academia and the industry are not coherently working together for the improvement and adoption of technology. But at the individual level, people are excelling. So
I
I
understand.
see the times to come with the current change in the strategy of the government, the digitization, digital Pakistan, AI initiative by the president, and
Yeah,
then now
absolutely.
STZA that has been now introduced. These are all kind of those measures that are being taken in order to leap us into an era of advanced technology adoption.
Absolutely. And speaking of STZA, last, a couple of days ago, we at CxO Global Forum arranged a seminar. Uh, Mr. Amir Hashmi, the chairperson for the Special Technology Zones Authority, had come in along with some other industry professionals, and he had given a talk about the STZAs. I want to know your candid personal view. Do you think these STZAs authority is actually going to create a more conducive environment for new businesses to set up?
Vikaji, just to give you a little bit of a perspective, STZA, when it was being developed, the framework was being developed, we were among the people who were consulted on it. And we were asked to give our recommendations, and we had a meeting with Amir Hashmi and others, and also Pasha members and from people from the ministry itself. And we gave our recommendations. And I personally think, and it's not me, I think it's the evolutionary process in which STZA is the foundation.
Yeah, right.
Because if we want to take out our, if we want to bring our technology companies into an ecosystem that is conducive not only for the people to adopt it, but also to create a learning ecosystem where we have the talent emerging from within that ecosystem, and their absorption of that talent within the same ecosystem, and the services and the products being delivered outside Pakistan and within Pakistan. STZA is the foundation for that. So I personally believe that this should have happened probably 10 years back, 15 years back. India did this in early 2000s. We've been at least 15 years behind, but as they say in Urdu, "Der ayat durust ayat."
There
So
I understand.
personally, but we call it in Urdu, "Der ayat durust ayat." But eventually it's there, and I hope that we are able to implement it, because this is just a framework for now. The important thing is the physical establishment and then the operation of this STZA, and that's going to be absolutely beneficial for us.
Absolutely. It's good to be very, very optimistic, and I appreciate that optimism. But a lot of times, young people in the country, because you mentioned academia as well, and I interact with a lot of students too, and they said that one of the reasons for brain drain is that in our country, like you talked about the neighboring countries, I mean, people are working on a space program, whereas we're still struggling with providing electricity to most parts of our country. Uh, how do you think this gap can be bridged, and how can we be more at par with the world globally?
Well, I have two solutions to it, two
Okay.
actions that are a solution to it. Very controversial, but I personally believe that they are the key, if not the only ones, but the basic ones. One, dual nationalities. We need to get rid of it. The
Okay.
moment the moment you put up dual nationalities, you let our people have the flexibility of going abroad, living abroad, building their capital abroad, companies abroad, working abroad, having their funds abroad, and this country just to be a visiting place for them in their summers to meet their relatives.
Absolutely. Very well
This
said.
takes away the dual nationality law takes away that crux of the foundation of linking and keeping you linked with the country. We may call ourselves Pakistanis because we have relatives in Pakistan, But when it comes to being loyal, it's always a question mark. I was watching this show the other day, where an Australian TV show where they were talking about loyalties, and there was this senator who did not believe in dual nationalities and was against the Muslims, and then there was a Pakistani who was out there in that interview panel, and he put up a straight question: if there is a war between Australia and Pakistan, who would you support?
Yeah. Thought
There was a
provoking.
problem. There was a problem. So, anyways, so that's one thing we
That's
need
one
to.
thing, dual nationalities. And the second
Yeah.
one,
The second one is we have been fed over the last decade with a lot of negativity. Or there's a psychological principle that if everybody starts saying this is wrong, even though that's right,
yeah,
you will end up believing that that's wrong.
yeah, that's the power of narratives.
That's the power of narratives. I do not want to use political language here. So
Yeah,
so so we tend to believe what is happening around us, and we tend to adopt from what is being said around us, and the kind of culture that is built up. What has happened is these TV shows that go out in the prime time, which are the major focus of our country at this point in time, they're feeding in a lot of negativity. We never get to hear about the great achievements that our people are doing, the great records that our people are doing, making. They never get highlighted in those shows. They never get kind of picturized or glamorously exhibited in those shows that would create that positive sentiment. So as a result, what is happening is the youth is the earliest one to catch on it.
right.
Now, so they are building up on the sentiment that everything is wrong in this country, nothing is right, and now since everything is wrong, everything has to be fixed by the government.
Yeah, yeah,
I say my fixing of my life and my career is my responsibility.
yeah. Ask not what
I
you can do for your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
you can do for you. And it's not a statement, it's not a fancy statement out there. It's a reality because, you know, I came from Kashmir without a penny in my pocket. And what did I did was here was to be honest and be positive about what life is giving me. Do you think my life journey was an easy one? No.
Of course not.
Uh, I normally tell the students, I started working with the 2,500 rupees per month as a stipend for 4 years.
Wow.
And that's not like too far. आपने मुझे 90s का बना के इतना बूढ़ा बना दिया. Though I've got a white hair and stuff, but I'm 42. That's not a long time back. But did I lose hope? No, because the part of the learning process is to go and climb the stairs step by step. The problem with the millennial population is they want instant results, they want change every now and then. We, as a country, as organizations in Pakistan, are not conducive for a millennial mindset at this point in time,
Absolutely.
unfortunately. So we are evolving, and yet we are unable to create that sense of ownership within our education system. जब मैं morality की बात करता हूँ, जब मैं sense of giving back की बात करता हूँ, we haven't been able to create that our institutions, whether they're schools, colleges, or universities, those sense of ethics, sense of morality, and sense of giving back, and sense of ownership, taking ownership of your destiny. Though the destiny is Allah ने जो फिक्स किया है, but जो आपके हाथ में है, मेरे हाथ में क्या है? मेहनत करना. मेरे हाथ
बिल्कुल.
में क्या है? Continuously जदोजहद करना, continuously फॉलो करना अपने ड्रीम को. वो मेरे हाथ में है. वो मेरे बाप ने मुझे नहीं कहना कि तू अपने ड्रीम को फॉलो कर. My father is going to enable me with the education, but then it's up to me. So we unfortunately have not been given that. So as a result, the youngsters think that everything happening in this country is wrong, and the world outside Pakistan is the best world out there.
Yeah.
I'll end up on a very small fact. Many of my friends have been outside Pakistan. They've
Mm-hmm.
left back in the early 20s, 2000s, and they've been living in UK and US and Europe.
Mm-hmm.
In the 20s, at 2010, 2012, I visited a lot of them in the anticipation. देखिए इंसान हूँ मुझे भी ख्वाहिश थी कि मैं भी बाहर
हाँ
जाऊँ.
कि मैं भी
Lived
बाहर
there.
आऊँ.
I visited them and I had a chat with them. And trust me, not even a single one said to me, leave what you have and come here. They said, we came here, we had our money, we did our part. Now, since we've given a lot here, we want to capitalize on it. But if I have to go back and do it again, probably I would not do it because the sacrifice I made towards my family, the sacrifice I made not meeting my parents and living my time, because now I have kids, I understand what it means to have uh, children with you.
Very
So
true.
I would not do that. But would any one of them come publicly and say this and encourage this? The answer is no, because it is
Absolutely.
against their ego to
Uh,
be felt कि यार
Absolutely.
मैं
You're so right about that, and definitely a lot of things. I really appreciate that you're being so candid with us on CXO Global TV. Speaking a little more about how when we want to keep things technical, I wanted to ask you in particular, sir, that it is said that big data in itself is going to be the new gold, or is now the new gold. It's the most expensive commodity now. It's the most valuable commodity. Um, how far is this true? Let's say for a layperson like us, and uh, what are the prospects in the future? Because I know you've got a lot of, you're one of the pioneers in analytics and business analytics and data. So please, if you'd like to elaborate on that.
the term that's being used very frequently is that data is the new oil,
Yeah.
because that's the oil's driving everything in this world. Energy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
gold, gold will always be there. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But the thing that is that takes precedence at times is was oil.
Mm-hmm.
Just like oil being the foundation of our mobility and our energy and our living, data has the same importance. Now the question is why? ये कैसे? Why would data? क्या है यार? Numbers ही है ना, information ही है. इसमें क्या मसला है? Data is the foundation for all decision making. How? You want to go from point A to point B, and somebody asks you, कब तक पहुंचोगे? And very generic question. How long would it take to reach us? कब तक पहुंच रहे हो? You would say it's 5 kilometers, so probably I'll take
Mm-hmm.
another 5 or 10 minutes to reach to your
10
place.
minutes.
What is
Mm-hmm.
that? So you made a decision, you made a conclusion, you made an inference based
Right.
on an information. And that information is what? 5 kilometers. My past history says that this is the average time I take to reach drive every kilometer. मेरी गाड़ी की speed ये है, मैं 5 kilometer. That is all data. Now,
Absolutely.
that led you to make a decision or communicate an information on the basis of which others are going to plan things around you. Think about it and expand it from the simple use case to a most complex use case of running a government, of running an organization, of
Mm-hmm.
creating a decision model where you have to decide कि मैंने लोन लेना है या नहीं लेना, मैंने ये कैंपेन लॉन्च करनी है कि नहीं करनी, मैंने इंटरेस्ट रेट को बढ़ाना है कि नहीं बढ़ाना, मैंने एक्सपोर्ट कितने कम करने हैं, कितने बढ़ाने हैं, इंपोर्ट कितनी कम करनी है, कितनी बढ़ानी है, बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट कैसे बनेगी. As complex as those decisions to as simple as this decision, when are you going to reach? All this is based on data. People talk
Brilliant.
about
Sorry, go on. So
people,
we're in the interest of time, I'm going
okay,
to request you to please just start wrapping it up because you shared such knowledgeable information. I would also like to on this forum invite you to our global thought space that we do every Saturday with all thought leaders because I believe you can be a very significant contributor there. But
sure.
sorry, आप please अपनी बात खत्म करिए.
नहीं, मैं सिर्फ कहना चाह रहा था कि जो AI आजकल हर कोई AI की बात कर रहा है.
Artificial, yeah, buzzword
AI
ban gaya.
AI is nothing without data.
Mhm.
You will not achieve any kind of artificial intelligence unless you don't have a solid foundation for data.
जिसको data points कहते हैं. That's what when you collate that data, you can make decisions. Brilliant. So, sir, just towards an ending note, I would like for you to share with us how has being a part of CXO Global impacted your personal and professional life?
Well, Kamal, when approached me the first time, I was very skeptical. I said, another WhatsApp group, another group of people where I have to hear things. But what I realized is that being part of an intellectual community, even if you're not too active in it, and just on the absorbing end, you get to learn a lot. And I think learning is one thing that we need to do because if we want to excel, this is where we can create that differentiation. So it's been a great learning platform for me. The thoughts and the ideas and the information shared by all those great minds on this forum helps me become a better person every day.
Thank you so much. Such beautiful thoughts, sir. Stay blessed, and you know we would love to connect with you again. Thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. We will join you once again next time with another special guest. Without further ado, we're going to say goodbye to you and looking forward to seeing you all next time. Thank you. Khudafis.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. Take care. Allah Hafiz.